it has been a very long time since I've done a video. Um, Actually, today is December 29th of 2012, and 3 years ago today, I had gastric bypass surgery. And, I don't know. Past year, I've been pretty busy just living my life. Things that have changed, I can eat a whole lot more now. I feel like it's almost back to normal before, but I mean, I'm still maintaining my weight. I had a baby March 12th of 2012, and it seems like after being pregnant, my appetite, like everything changed. I can tolerate more food, but I still weigh about 155. I do not look to myself like I did before I got pregnant, even though I weighed a little bit more before I got pregnant. I guess I just don't have the confidence that I had before. I still need to do a lot of um, working on my stomach, and you know that means since the new year's coming around, I am driving. Did I say that? Yeah. Um, New Year's resolution almost always consists of losing weight, but I'm just not gonna put it at that. I'm just gonna put it at changing me all the way around, making more time for my family, um, making memories with my children and my husband. So um, I do strive to exercise more, but I will also be just working on me as a person in general, better in my life. So, like I said, I weigh about 155. I went to the doctor last week, just an OB checkup, and that's where I am. I'm okay with the number. I just wish I looked a little different in clothes, so I'm gonna work on that. That's pretty much it as far as my weight goes. I mean, I didn't do very much with being pregnant, doing like a whole, update monthly. I mean, I have pictures somewhere of me being pregnant that I could probably turn into a video, and I probably will. But my pregnancy consists pretty normal pregnancy. The only thing that I did different was I did not have the glucose testing. I had to do like how they make you drink the nasty stuff. I didn't do that. I just do like a finger prick. A couple times a day I would do a finger prick, and I ended up having to turn a login to a nutritionist. I did not gain a lot of weight being pregnant. I did not even gain enough in the beginning. I was losing, so I had to go to a nutritionist, and she talked to me about the weight and everything. Other than that, I didn't. What else? I was very, very anemic, and I fought with that really a lot, to where I had a blood transfusion, and then I had a blood transfusion, and then I still wasn't good enough. So 2 days later, I was admitted into the hospital for a second blood transfusion. Which I have pictures of that somewhere. I'll have to find them. And my first transfusion. And then after that, I went for a week straight of iron infusions. So I'd have to go to a hematologist for a week and sit in there for an hour as they gave me iron infusions. And then it just so happened my baby was born 3 weeks early. She just came on her own, which I was happy, and she was healthy. It just so happened that I finished all those infusions and everything just in time for it to kick into my body, get my iron where it needed to be. So when I had her, it wasn't all that bad. And when I had her, I'll go ahead and tell that story also. It shouldn't take too long. My husband and our anniversary is March 1st. Well, my kids wanted to go to some concert on March 1st, so we postponed. Oh my goodness, it's getting hot in here. Hold on. Wrong thing. 1 second. I'm going to switch you to this other hand. Okay. And turn off the heater. Okay. So we postponed our anniversary, celebrating it, to the following weekend, which so happened to be like March 10th or something, before we could go. And we decided, since I was so pregnant, we'd stay close in town. So we went to the Woodlands, which is like 10 minutes from where we live. We got a hotel room. We went out to eat. We went, shopping at the mall and everything. You just kind of did our own thing for one day. And then we went and I had a pedicure and everything. And then we did a couples massage. And the whole time I was like, I just don't feel good. So we went back to the hotel. We went to bed. I woke up the next morning. We were going to go home. My sister-in-laws were at my house with my kids. We were going to go home and do just some family time and everything. My sister-in-laws were going to stay around just in case. Is what I planned on the first. But we went to eat first. I downloaded something on my phone called Contraction, something that monitored them or whatever. And I just keep pushing it every time I had one. So I thought I wasn't sure. So, went ahead and ate. I got a kid's meal. Ate my little kid's meal for breakfast that morning. And we went ahead and went home. And I was taking classes, anatomy too. And it was the only class I had at that time because I finished all the other ones early. And it was right at spring break. So I went home that Sunday. I had a test in anatomy, so it was a take-home test for over spring break. So I worked on that test, and I knew I was having contractions. I let my sister-in-laws go ahead and go home, but it was pretty intense. I just sat at my computer doing my homework, and I sat on the exercising ball. Then I stopped, went away. I felt normal, so I went to bed. Well, finally about 2 o'clock I woke up. And my husband fell asleep on the couch. So about 2 o'clock I woke up and I was like, I don't feel good. So I went and I took a shower, bath, and I sat in there and it just got worse. But I forgot I locked the door. And, I was just freaking out. Like, if I go into labor, nothing's going to happen. Remember, this is my 6th kid, okay? So, then I went downstairs. I made it around a little curve in our stairs, and I kind of just stood there, and I was yelling his name. And he finally understood what I was saying, and he woke up, and I was like, we got to go to the hospital. But at that point, a contraction hit me, and I just remember dropping, not hitting the ground. I just kind of grabbed my knees and just held on to them for a second. So then I got on the phone, and we started calling everybody, and called my mom, my sister, and everything, because my kids were in bed sleeping, and my family lives probably about 45 minutes. At the most. One of my sisters lives about 20 minutes. But my sister-in-laws take about 45 minutes to get to my house. So we called them and waiting for, and I'm pacing across the living room. And my bags were still packed because I just gotten home from my whole little anniversary thing. So all I did was grab the baby stuff. And I looked at my husband. He says, I don't have any gas in my truck. I was like, then we'll just take, my car. So the thing is that this was the only baby that I had in a different hospital because my doctor moved. She got her own practice, so I didn't even know. I tried to set up a nursery to look around at the nursery, and they weren't even going to be able to get me in until a day before my due date. So I was just like, whatever. When I called them, they wouldn't let me do whatever. So I was just like, whatever. Just tell me where I need to go to have the baby. That was, a day before or whatever. So a couple days before, I couldn't get in to do the whole thing. She ended up being born 3 weeks early, so it didn't matter anyways. But I kept getting in more and more pain. My husband disappeared. He was upstairs. I guess he was calling into work. I really don't know. But anyways, in the end, he didn't come down. Finally, he came down. I was like, we have to go now. So I went upstairs and told my daughter, she's 12 now, everybody's sleeping. Your aunt's on her way. We're going to have to leave, and I have to go to the hospital because, the baby's going to come. I was like, and my sister-in-law has a key to our house. So I just said, stay in bed, they're on the way. She said, okay. She looked a little afraid, but everything was okay, So, then we left them asleep. We got in the car, and we're driving. And it's like, oh, it's taking forever. It feels like to get there, and I'm having more and more contractions. And I'm just like, to the point that I'm just like holding on to the thing on the side of I don't know what it's called. It's like some little bar that's right next to the door. And I was holding on to it. And, in pain. And the hospital is probably about 25 minutes from my house. So, I'm telling my husband, finally we get to this spot, and we're probably like 10 minutes from the hospital, and I looked at him, and I know this feeling that I have, and I always, because I've never had an epidural with any of my kids, and I get to this point that I feel like I cannot take this pain anymore, and that's when I know it's almost over. And I remember looking at him, and I told him, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it this time without an epidural. And that should have clicked to me myself, because I should have known that once I get to that point where I think I may need an epidural, I'm almost done. But I didn't. So I was just like, maybe 2 minutes later, we got stopped by a train or something. I don't remember what it was. The cop was in the way. There was something like a small wreck or car accident or something. And we finally got around that. And we had to kind of get on the freeway and everything to get there. And we get there, and we have no idea where the emergency entrance is to the hospital to have a baby, because we've never been to this hospital for this before. And it's 5 o'clock in the morning, so we knew we couldn't go in the regular way. Well, it's like 5:30 by this time. Then we get and do all this stuff. Because I sat in the bathtub for like an hour or so, having contractions before I even woke him up. So, anyways, we get there. It's probably about, everything happened so fast. Because I don't remember what time she was born at this point. Think about it. I think it was like 6:06 in the morning she was born. But anyways, we get there, we finally get to pull into the parking lot, and my husband's driving speed limit in the parking lot. I know he's trying to be safe and everything because we're at a hospital, but I'm to the point that I'm just like, dude, I was like, I don't have much more longer. We don't have any more time. Thank God that I don't know what I was thinking when I got up and got dressed that morning. I put on jeans, I put on shoes, I put on the belly band, I put on the maternity shirt, I put it all on like I was really gonna go somewhere that day. So we get there, and we finally found the emergency room after going corner. When I told him I didn't think we were going to make it much longer, he starts like driving really fast. Well, then I had leather seats in that car, so I was just like flying all around the car and trying to hold on even tighter. And we were just hopping all around, so it was making it worse. And then we finally come around the corner and we see emergency room. So we pulled up, I grabbed my purse, I looked at him and I said, hey, don't take too long. You better get here fast. So I get in there and I'm talking to the ladies and I'm trying to explain to them that I'm in labor. They're like, where do I need to go with what I'm asking? They're like, ma'am, you can't walk up there. They go get me a wheelchair, and I'm like, I can't sit in that wheelchair. I was like, but you don't understand that there's like a head there already. I don't think they fully believed me. So I was like, where do I need to go? And they were like, ma'am, you can't walk as far as you need to go. You need to get in this wheelchair. I was like, no, I need a bed down here somewhere. And I was trying to be nice. By that time my husband came back in, I'm like, no, around this area. I cannot make it upstairs. I'm going to have this baby. This is my 6th kid. I know that it's time to have this baby. Once I said that, my legs started to just like shake, like uncontrollably. And I was standing up, and they were like, okay, and they just started walking, and I just started following them. I didn't know where I needed to go. But they took me, and I went past this room, and then the lady's like, where do you want me to take her? She's like, oh, take her to number 1. So we went into number 1, because at that point, before that, I was just going to take my pants off in the emergency room. That's how bad. I think that's what made them really believe me. We get off in there, and I look at them like, what do you want, me to do, pretty much. And they just said, I just started getting undressed. I just undressed from the bottom down. They were like, you need to take this off. I was like, no, there's no need. You only have to worry about down there. You don't have to worry about my shirt and everything, is what I was feeling like. So people are looking at me crazy because I'm in my car talking to myself. But anyways, I got undressed. The doctor looked, how many weeks are you? I'm 37 weeks in a day or whatever. He looked and he was like, yep, we just got a guide. And then he goes, this is going to be really hard on her though with this kind of bed. And I'm like, hey, that said, that kind of made me nervous, but at this point, I couldn't do anything. I was just like, whatever. He gets on the phone with my doctor on call because my doctor was on vacation. And I knew she was going to be on vacation, but I wasn't worried because I knew that, I wasn't due yet. But he calls the doctor on call, and she's just like, on the phone, within 2 pushes. Next thing you know, she hears the baby crying. They won't worry about anything. They're like, leave the placenta in until I get there. So I just pretty much went from the ER, had a baby, got in the ER, had a baby within 10 minutes, had to check in there, was wheeled upstairs, and just sat there and waited for the doctor to come and take the placenta out. And that was pretty much it. That was my easiest labor ever. Anyways, this is getting really long, so that's all I have to say for now. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.